Hi everybody. This week's discussion topic is about abortion, and you guys have done a terrific job discussing the various arguments in relation to abortion. There are so many good arguments for and against, and also the moderate position was included in this discussion. And I think that we've touched on a lot of really good points in the discussion so far. So what I wanted to point out is that, as you know, the conflict here is between the value of life principle and the individual choice or freedom of choice principle. And you are going to come out most likely choosing one or the other, depending on a lot of different circumstances. So your belief about abortion, to be for or against, is going to be shaped by your own personal experiences, your religious beliefs, perhaps what you learned from your parents, and also the experiences that you've had to date as far as when life begins and your feelings on when life begins, conception, or later when the fetus becomes viable. All of these things are going to influence your personal choice. And so we want to make sure that we are accepting of at least listening to everybody's different circumstances and the reason that they make the choices that they do. Now, I wanted to discuss the application of philosophy in terms of abortion and how some of our theories would apply. An ethical egoist would be in favor of abortion if it supports their own personal self-interest. It's possible that they could be against having an abortion if it does not fulfill their own self-interest, and that's going to be due to their belief system and so forth. So basically, ethical egoists don't think that others should interfere with making this choice, and that it should be personally up to them whether or not to have an abortion. Now, utilitarianist thinking is going to ask us to do a cost-benefit analysis, weigh pros and cons, determine what the various advantages or disadvantages would be for everybody involved in the situation. It may or may not include just your own self, but also the baby, family members, the father, etc., and how that is going to affect everybody within the realm of making this choice. And so it could be either for or against abortion, depending on what the greater good is determined to be. Now, divine command theory would not support abortion in most circumstances. Of course, this is going to depend on the divine commands that are being followed and the religion that's being followed, but most religions would most likely agree, particularly the religions of Abraham, that we should be against abortion. Now, Kant, his views on abortion would probably be that they violate the categorical imperative of killing another human being. So most likely he would not be in favor of abortion, and he would ask us, not to treat other people as a means to an end. Virtue ethics could go either way. It could be either for or against, depending on what you're looking at. Now, killing in and of itself might not make you a virtuous character, so that would be one way to take the argument. Another way of looking at it is, if we were to use Aristotle, he might make the argument that we should take a look at what makes us happy overall. So we would examine whether or not we would be happier having an abortion or not having an abortion. Now, Confucius and Confucian society is still present heavily in Asian cultures, and you know that they have practiced abortion there, as far as sex selection, and that practice is now coming to an end in current news. I discussed a little bit of that last week. So the Confucian principle may be in favor of abortion for certain circumstances. So that pretty much gives a summary of the different theories and how they're related to abortion. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me or respond to my post. Thanks.